if nothing else, I think it gives the Chiefs optionality that they just have not had. Most teams don't have. Like, they will then be able to go into camp with a legitimate competition between Moore and Simmons.
It's that football show here on KC Sports Network. Tucker Franklin hanging out with Matt Verderame. Thank you to our partners, Ben Holiday, Bottled and Bond Bourbon, Holiday Distillery, and all the products that they got going on at Holiday Distillery. 360 Vodka, Five Farms Irish Cream Liqueur, Tequila Rose. If you haven't had Tequila Rose, very good. Also, they have Who Songs Tequila as well. Go check them out. Everything that they got there at Holiday Distillery. But obviously, Ben Holiday, Bottled and Bond is our favorite. So that's what we choose to have sponsor the show. So we appreciate every one of the fine folks at Holiday Distillery. Matt's been a couple of days since we did a podcast. Not a whole lot's happening, but what's going on with you? You're at a different location today.
I'm up at the lake house in Wisconsin. I'm living the dream. It's a little overcast right now, but that's okay. We're going to Lake Superior after I'm done with the spot. And that's right. I might dive in. We'll see how things go. Might just go right in, just start swimming, and then people be, what happened to Matt? I mean, he just kept going. Shockingly, he didn't get to the other side. Just up here, living the dream, and enjoying a nice little weekend here before we start to go into the second week of OTAs and the third week of OTAs and mini camp, and then we'll have training camp schedule, and before you know it, we'll be cracking pads at St. Joe's. Really, really living the dream.
St. Joe, man. I tell you what.
How do you feel about 98 degrees at 7 a.m.?
Man, I can feel. I can't wait for that. Sometimes people say I can't wait. I can't wait for that. The opposite, Bart Scott. I can't wait for that. The Great Lakes are pretty much seas, right? Like, we all agree that like the Great Lakes should be actually seas, not lakes.
Yeah, it might as well be oceans.
Yeah. I mean, you can't see the other side.
Right. I wonder, like, when they first discovered the lakes, did they think they were oceans?
That's a good point, because I remember when I flew out of Chicago, I had a layover because I was going to Pittsburgh for the U.S. Open at Oakmont in 2016. That was my senior trip. My grandparents took me on. We went to the U.S. Open in Oakmont. Beautiful course, by the way. And we went to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. That's what we did. But we had a layover in Chicago going into Pittsburgh. And I remember flying out of Midway and seeing the water and thinking, like, because I that's the only time I've ever been to Chicago, and thinking, like, whoa, I didn't realize the Great Lakes were that big. Like, I remember thinking that, like, it was the ocean. Like, I remember thinking that I was like, whoa, I can't see land. Like, I think that I'm fully engulfed in water right now. I thought that I was blown away by that as a 18-year-old in high school, never being to Chicago.
Yeah, it's they're huge. I've lived I lived in Chicago, so I lived right on Lake Michigan, and I went to school in college. I mean, literally on Lake Ontario. Like, I could throw a football from my dorm hall and hit the water. So the downside is you don't really want to go swimming in those lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, I remember Ontario, people would be like, the school literally would tell you, like, don't go in there. So, but it's cool. I mean, those lakes are ridiculous. Those lakes are, you're right. I mean, they feel infinite. So, it is fun. And people who have never seen them, I don't think understand. It does, to your point. It feels like you're at the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely feels that way. It's insane.
I love the beaches that they have in Chicago, or at least the ones that I've seen in Chicago. They're just like the pavement. It's just like the people laying out on towels on pavement and be like, yeah, enjoying the beach today. I think that's hilarious. I do love that about Chicago. It's like, yeah, look at our beach. It's paved.
Yeah, the beach. I love people in Chicago are like, oh, it's the same thing. No, actually, it's not. But really that's fine. Like, actually, your beach is like right off like Michigan Avenue. And it's about 8 feet wide, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Sure it is. But then the lakes are really cool though. We used to play, at the time she's my girlfriend, now my wife, but we used to play beach volleyball down there. And my entire goal was to just set up as a 6'2" individual next to the net and just try to spike it into people's faces. That was the entire. Unfortunately, I probably had like 4 Coronas at that point. But I was like, all right, just set it up. I'm just going to do whatever I can to just try to annihilate somebody from 3 feet away. It's fun. It was a good time. It was a good goal to have.
I love it. Well, we do have some stuff to talk about that came out of OTAs. As OTAs are rocking and rolling here for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll have some quick hitters here, and obviously power rankings as well. But first, before let's dive into what came out of the Chiefs OTAs. The Chiefs spoke for the first time of their session 1 of OTAs on Thursday. They spoke for the first time. We got to hear from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And one of the things that came out, thanks to Herbie Teope asking some questions to Andy Reid about Joshua Simmons. Sounds like he's ahead of schedule, and they're going to have him be involved in some team drills coming up, so that's going to be exciting. But Joshua Simmons' knee ahead of schedule, Matt. How do you think that kind of impacts how they're going to approach this left tackle position moving into training camp?
Listen, it's really interesting because as everybody else just listening to the show, I was always super like, I would not take Josh Simmons. And the biggest reason was he's 320 pounds with a torn patella tendon. Right. If he ends up being able to practice fully day 1, week 1, like that's like 9 months out from the patella, which is incredible in terms of like, listen, I will be shocked not that the Chiefs are BSing, but like that is a very, very quick return based on that injury. I think it would also relieve some concerns about his maturity and his love of football, because if you're coming back that quickly off of that injury at that size, you really worked your ass off to do it. So I look from a competitive standpoint, if nothing else, I think it gives the Chiefs optionality that they just have not had. Most teams don't have. Like they will then be able to go into camp with a legitimate competition between Moore and Simmons. Now, the other thing it does is it also, if those two guys are both really good, if you get a best case scenario, both of them play great, is there a world where Jawan Taylor's on the bench? I mean, I don't. My gut is that the Chiefs will start Jawan Taylor, and it would take him playing atrociously for them to bench him because that's just kind of their MO.
Right.
But what if there's a world where they're like, let's even just say in week 6, and Jawan Taylor's got 10 penalties, and he's playing like Jawan Taylor, and Patrick Mahomes goes to Andy Reid and it's like, enough of this, enough, I'm done, sit him. I mean, the point is, with Simmons being healthy, you have an actual chance of having a real competition there. And you have 2 shots of finding a good left tackle for this season, and not just one.
I think that's very beneficial. And I like the point that you bring up about right tackle, because look, you hear that Joshua Simmons is having a really great time in his recovery, and you're automatically thinking, boy, that sounds like he might start this year. He's going to get some first team reps. He's going to get some team reps going into camp and everything. But they just paid a guy $30 million to be their left tackle. That seems like quite an expensive swing tackle. But I do think, Matt, the point that you bring up is it gives now Jawan Taylor maybe a little fire behind his ass. Be like, all right, now there's actually a guy that can come and take my spot. They haven't really had that, right? Lucas Niang wasn't really beating down the door for right tackle.
No,
they didn't have a lot of guys that were threatening that position. But Jawan Taylor, he is making a lot of money this year. That might be the only reason I see them saying like, hey, you got to play. But I think you're right. If Patrick Mahomes comes in and he's like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that guy there, let's try out Jalen Moore. I know the Chiefs don't really love, contrary to what they did last year, the Chiefs don't really love moving around offensive linemen. They like to set it and forget it, kind of when it comes to that and building that continuity there with those 5 guys. And they've always had the philosophy of playing the 5 best guys. If Jalen Moore is the 5th is one of your 5 best, and he's better than Jawan Taylor, you might need to slide him in at right tackle regardless of what you're paying. Here's the thing, though, is like you're going to eat some salary no matter what, whether it's Jawan Taylor, whether if it's Jalen Moore, whoever is not starting there, I should say. Maybe Jalen Moore does start out there and you don't necessarily have to eat any salary that you paid out this year. But if Jalen Moore does sit and doesn't win that left tackle job, you're paying a lot of money for a swing tackle. If he beats out Jawan Taylor for the right tackle job, you're still paying a lot of money for a swing tackle. So I think that's going to be an interesting spot that the Chiefs find themselves in.
Also, too, just again, look, Josh Simmons played right tackle at San Diego State.
He did. Mm-hmm.
And Andy Reid, by the way, if you remember, okay, since Andy Reid's been here, they took one other tackle in the first round, and it was Eric Fisher. Mm-hmm. Eric Fisher played right tackle to start his career, and then he switched over to left tackle. I'm not saying that that's going to be the exact same situation. Like, that's not going to be the exact same situation. It's two different things 12 years apart. My point is there a world here where Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons compete for the left tackle job and they both look really good? I mean, obviously, that's best case scenario, no matter how it plays out. Like, that's what you want. But is there a world where, Andy and Mahomes are sitting there and it's like, listen, man, we need to play these two guys. We need to play Simmons on the right side and we need to play Moore on the left side. And like, the one thing that makes me, while I don't think they're going to, the one thing it does make me think they could, let's be real, Jawan Taylor's gone after this year.
Yeah.
Like, they're cutting Jawan Taylor. Unless Jawan Taylor goes out and plays unbelievable football, they're cutting. They say $20 million if they cut him.
Right.
He's gone. So if you're Kansas City, it's not like you're cutting a guy, or it's not like your benching guy is going to be there for 2 years and pissed off. And he's going to be there for like what? Another, if they bench him in the middle of the season, another 8 games, 9 games, like,
yeah.
Do you give a damn at that point? I don't know. So I do think there's a world here where the Chiefs could just go, you know what? These are our 2 best guys. We're done with this. I also think Mahomes, the older he gets, I think the more impact he has on decisions like this. Andy's going to make the decision. Andy loves to say he's 51% of the vote, and that's fine. But it's Mahomes' ass that's getting hit over and over and over.
Right.
And if Mahomes went to Andy and was like, listen, enough of this. We're playing the 2 best guys. I'm done getting hit. I'm done. We're done being 3rd and 15 because Jawan Taylor can't figure out where the line of scrimmage is. I'm done with this. Hey, I think Andy'd have to listen to him. Like, at some point, you got to, he's your guy. He's very few guys, especially in the NFL, very few players have enough, like, I don't know, gravitas, I guess, to make a decision like that. He's one of them. He's probably the number one guy in terms of, I can just go in there. This is happening. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
And what are the Chiefs going to do? Tell him no? I mean, it could, but not a great idea.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting conversation. This offensive line is going to be really interesting. Obviously, they have a left guard spot that's up for grabs as well. Andy Reid did say that Kingsley Suamataia was progressing well there, but he did reiterate that it's a competition with him and Mike Caliendo. And boy, if Mike Caliendo wins that job, we need to have a conversation, I think, about Kingsley if Mike Caliendo is able to beat him out for that one. I wonder though too if I don't think they would use either of the they wouldn't move Jawan Taylor to a guard spot if that is. I don't think they'd move Jalen Moore to a guard spot either.
No,
that doesn't feel like that would be what it would be. So it really does feel like the guard is going to be Kingsley Suamataia or Mike Caliendo. Left tackle does seem like it is going to be whether the 2 of Jalen Moore and Joshua Simmons. And it seems like Joshua Simmons ahead of schedule. That's good. Another guy who seems to be ahead of schedule, Matt. Rashee Rice seemingly doesn't have any restrictions. Nate Taylor talked about this on Only Weird Games yesterday, but Rice is coming back from a pretty brutal knee injury that he suffered in week 4? Week 4 against the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes took him out there, obviously. I'm sure you guys know the play that took him out. Yeah. But he's coming back from that, and it seems like he has no injury restrictions, working out as normal, doesn't even really have anything on the knee as he's going about practices.
Yeah.
I think that's wildly interesting. And there's been no talk about a suspension either. So could the Chiefs have a full-strength Rashee Rice by week 1? I don't know.
It could. I mean, right now we're sitting here. We're recording this on May 30th, and there has literally not been a whisper of Rashee Rice being suspended.
Not at all.
So, could it happen? Yes. But every day that goes by, it becomes less and less likely. I think we get to training camp and he's not suspended. I don't think he's getting suspended. I think at that point you're probably. I mean, unless like they just all of a sudden settled or something like that, and then maybe. But otherwise, if this thing's just going to play out in court, I mean, there is nothing in the last year that's happened. It's been bizarre. Look, I went back and was looking at Rice's statistics last night, actually. Do you know he was on pace for over 160 targets?
Yeah.
That's more targets than Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce have ever had.
Correct. Yes.
Like, he was on pace for like 130 some odd receptions and 1,600 yards. He was going to, I mean, listen, I know it's 3 games, right? Like, getting into how I like the paces and stuff is a little dangerous, but let's put it this way. He was going to have a big year if he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. Mahomes talked yesterday about how he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. So, and you also have Worthy now, who is in his second season. Right. And, last year, if you look, it was night and day but before the Bills game and after the Bills game. Because before the Bills game, he wasn't even catching half his targets. After the Bills game, the guy caught everything. And in the playoffs, he had 21 targets. He had 19 receptions.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally caught almost every ball thrown at him. I think the presence of Worthy and the respect teams are going to have for Worthy is going to open up Rice even more. Mm-hmm. I mean, Rice was doing all that with who at receiver next to him?
Justin
Watson, and like Worthy was like kind of playing, but he's still a rookie, and they weren't really playing him a ton. Like it was like Juju and Justin Watson, and I'm probably blanking on whoever the hell else. Like
they played Sky Moore a little bit.
Oh my God!
There's one game. So the KC Lab is doing lessons learned. They go back and they'll watch a random game from the middle of the season. This last game they watched was the Niners Chiefs game, week 7, right after the bye week. Yeah. And there were several times where McCole Hardman and Sky Moore were your 2 wide receivers on the field.
That's disgusting. I mean, I don't think people understand outside of Kansas. I mean, Chiefs fans don't understand, but like Mahomes won a Super Bowl with the biggest bum fest I've ever seen in my life at receiver. Rice was a rookie, and other than him, it was literally Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore and washed up MVS and Justin Watson and Richie James. Richie James played a ton in the AFC title game and in the Super Bowl. And then McCartan. Those are the receivers on that team. And they won the Super Bowl. And not only won the Super Bowl, went to Buffalo and won, went to Baltimore and won, beat the Niners. I mean, listen, that is more impressive than anything Brady ever did. I will stand by that till the end of the. I'm not saying he's better than Brady, but that is more impressive than anything Brady did. And for people out there like, well, Brady played with these receivers who were, like David Givens and Trey. Yes, he did, but he was not relied upon to win those Super Bowls early in his career. I was alive for those ones. I watched those teams. I remember those teams. Those teams were run the ball and play defense.
Yep.
And Brady was asked to make a throw here and a throw there. And I'm not knocking him. He did his job. He was perfect in his role. Well, now later in his career, he was asked to carry the mail. They were not running the ball nearly as well. But like Mahomes certainly had the defense that year. The Chiefs weren't exactly running the rock. Okay. Like that offense was like, hey, Pat, figure out how to navigate this thing 70 yards with 5 receivers who have no hands. Good luck. And somehow won a Super Bowl doing it.
I just looked up the stats for that year, by the way. This floored me when I looked at it. We obviously know that Patrick has never had a 1,000-yard rusher in his career with the Chiefs. He was the second leading rusher in 2023.
Oh, God, I'm sure it was. Yeah. Who number 1? Pacheco, right?
Pacheco at 935, and then number 3 was Clyde with 223.
Good. Big contribution. Listen.
Right.
I mean, those teams. First of all, by the way, he had to win 2 playoff games on the road. Brady never did that when he was in New England. Ever.
Really? I didn't know that.
Brady never one time won 2 playoff games on the road. And I think in 01 and 04, they won the AFC title games in Pittsburgh both years. But yeah, he never won a Super Bowl in New England when he had to play on a wild card weekend. And he never won a Super Bowl in New England when he was when he didn't have home field advantage for at least one of the 2 playoff games.
Wow.
So in Tampa, he won the Super Bowl going on the road for all 3 games. He went to Washington. He went to Washington was atrocious. They were like 7-9.
Yeah.
And then they went to New Orleans, and then they went to Green Bay, and that was. But also keep in mind, not to take it away from, that was the COVID year.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
and then you get the Super Bowl at home.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit different. Like
right.
He also got the benefit of playing Drew Brees, who was 87 years old, and Aaron Rodgers, who has never seen a playoff game. He wasn't ready to wet his pants in. So, I mean, he really drew a good dance card.
That last year, Drew Brees was the quarterback, was so sad because it's like, this dude can't throw it 10 yards. Like, this dude cannot throw an out route across the field.
No, it was brutal. And they still almost won that game somehow.
Yeah.
You know, like this thing's almost. I remember from a Chiefs standpoint praying the Saints got to the Super Bowl that year. So I was like, oh my God. It's like no one's going to blitz everybody the entire game. He can't move. He has no arm. Like, this is going to be unbelievable. They're just going to blitz him every single down and go ahead and throw it over our heads. Do it. And the Chiefs had played them that year in the Superdome and beaten them. And,
yep. I remember.
It didn't work out that way. But yeah, I mean, listen, but my point is, Mahomes that year, Mahomes should be canonized as a saint just for, I mean, that year alone, he should be canonized for not losing his mind. Like, I remember when people just multiplied shit nationally because you went berserk after the Tony play against the Bills.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, listen, I get it. Like, he probably should have told Josh Allen that like this whole thing is basically bullshit. I'm fine. But like, that man went through a living hell for 6 straight months. And that was the one time he finally just couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
Like the amount of restraint he had. If I was him, I covered that Lions game week 1. I would have walked down to the podium and been like, listen, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, my receivers are actively playing for the other team. I threw a perfect pass to Kadarius Toney and he turned it into a pick 6. Like, what do you want from me? And yet only one time that year did he finally just lose his shit and explode. And it's because Kadarius Toney lined up like he was a defensive back on a play. And I always loved it that night. Like, so many people tweeted at me, like, I was like, yeah, he absolutely, it was the right call. He's in the neutral, so he's an idiot.
Right.
He's a yard ahead of the ball. People are like, it's never been called. I was like, yeah, because no one's ever blatantly lined up like that before. Look at this guy. This fucking guy's halfway to the end zone lining up. I mean, come on.
His crotch is over the ball.
Yeah, I'm like, this is egregious. Like, I'm not going to defend this guy. I'm like, come on. That's Travis Kelce. All right, listen, I'll hear it a little bit more. Kadarius Toney, they're at the 50. Kadarius Toney's lined up like the 42. He's getting a running start like it's a CFL. Come on. You're going to call this.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, the 2023 Chiefs, man.
What a year that was, man. And like last year, he finally snapped when he just kept getting beat on the Wanya Morris getting beat on the same move, which hey, how about let's not push Patrick Mahomes to his breaking point every fucking year? How about let's not do that?
I feel like as he gets older, it's just going to get earlier every year.
Yeah, right.
I'm too old for this shit. To week 4, screaming. I always, when Mahomes, I'll say this about Mahomes though. When he loses his shit, it's bad.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because he's so like team for I'm not going to light anybody up. So when he finally is like, I'm done with this guy, get this guy off the field. It's like, okay, this guy, it's all. I remember the New England game, the year they won the Super Bowl when they went up to Foxborough, and the Pats were terrible.
Yeah.
And they won the game. It was kind of like they won on 27-17. Like, it
wasn't exactly a Cam Newton game. Was that a Cam Newton Pats game?
No, that was a Bailey Zappi game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that was a game where he threw 2 picks, and both of them, if I remember right, but the last one especially, went right off of Kadarius Toney's hands and got picked off.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the last one. They showed Mahomes' face, and he had this face of like, "Are you kidding?" Like the balls, it was a 3-yard pass. And you popped it up in the air and got it picked. And I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, that's the last game he's playing this year. He's about to have a mystery injury and be done. And I'm going to look this up right now, but I am fairly confident that ended up being the case. I don't think he ever dressed for another game in the NFL.
It's like the Sky Moore app game. Well, he went to the Browns, but.
I'm sorry. That's true. That's right. That I should say that season.
That awful calamity that hits the Browns.
That was the end of his Chiefs career. He's inactive the entire rest of the season.
It's insane.
Yep, he was targeted 4 times, had 2 catches for 5 yards. That was the last time he ever caught a pass in the NFL because he didn't catch any passes for Cleveland.
Right. He did try to catch a punt.
He did. Yeah, he did.
And that did not work out.
They had the full experience. It's amazing that they won a Super Bowl and the two guys who scored in the fourth quarter were Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. And then Toney had the biggest punt return arguably in NFL history. And that their dynasty is going to be studied for 100 years. That team had stuff like Dan Sorensen making huge plays. All just
MVS actively sabotaging every deep ball.
And then running backwards in overtime in a Super Bowl.
Jesus, yeah.
Losing like 7 yards. Yeah. But then also making the biggest play of the game in Baltimore.
Right.
Just catching them all parallel to the ground.
That team made zero sense. That team literally did not make any sense at all. I remember like that regular season was like so tough to get through because they had lost. Like I think that was the most times like they had lost in they lost in Patrick Mahomes' career. It's just like they just look bad doing it too. It's just like bad. This team is not gonna. This team's a first round exit, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, they just won the Super Bowl.
I remember being borderline catatonic when they won because I just couldn't believe they won the Super Bowl. I was like, this team won a Super Bowl. The only saving grace of that team was the defense was on an all-time heater.
It was, yeah.
Especially in the play. They were just unbelievable. Like they basically won because the defense wouldn't let them lose. And Mahomes is so great. Mahomes is able to drag that carcass of an offense to like 21 points a game. Right. And all right, I guess we have to win. You know, like we don't have a choice. You know, but yeah, I wonder if you got some of those coaches in a real honest moment, if they would be like, yeah, we left Las Vegas. Like, how in God's name do we do this? How sick was Kyle Shanahan that night?
Oh,
you lost to McCole Hardman and MVS and Scott. Like, we're never ever going to win.
That was the year that they recovered 17 fumbles.
Is that true?
Yeah, they recovered 17 fumbles. I'm looking at it right now. 8 interceptions, 17 fumbles.
Hey man, I will always say this: the greatest defensive play I've ever seen a Chiefs player make was that play by Snead in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That guy came out of nowhere. It was the greatest play ever. It's one of the greatest defensive plays I've ever seen by anybody.
It makes it so much better that happened as right after the play that Zay Flowers got the penalty thrown on him for taunting L'Jarius Sneed. And then they were backed up because of it. And because of that penalty basically led to the turnover. The context behind that play makes that so much better too. And yeah, I think that L'Jarius Sneed, criminally underrated, man. I saw he's going through some other stuff too. It's like people and I don't know if he's going to play ever again, truthfully, when it comes to his injury. Like it's been bad for him in Tennessee.
I remember, and I don't mind saying this now because he got his money, but I remember being told right after that Super Bowl when they won against the Niners that his knee, it's a borderline miracle it didn't explode that year. Like he was basically bone on bone for most of that year. The cartilage was just gone. Yeah. And like there were times in that year when they legitimately were like, we don't know if he's going to make it through another game. Like it was, that knee was so bad that year that how he played the way he played is nothing short of me. I mean, he was in a ton of pain all year long. You look back at that team, that's part of the reason they won. I mean, you think in the Super Bowl that year, he's on a bone-on-bone knee. Watson, who recovered the fumble on that punt, played with a torn labrum from week 2 on.
Right.
And Allegretti had one arm in that game. He had a torn UCL, and they just played through it. Like, that team was nuts. That team was absolutely – look, all you need to know about the absurdity of the 2023 Chiefs is my enduring image of that Super Bowl, other than, of course, them winning it, is Mike Pinnell just tossing Trent Williams around like he's some practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Just big Mike Pinnell, who in 20 years, nobody who's not a Chiefs fan is going to remember, was just launching Trent Williams left and right and just shedding blocks. This is impossible, what's going on with this team right now. But here we are. And now they've got a shot to bring it back to this team to get to their 4th straight Super Bowl this year, which no team has ever done other than the 90s Bills. But the 90s Bills barely count Jennifer won anything. So this would be the first time. This would be the first time the team's ever gotten a 4 and have at least won one of them. Of course, Chiefs are going to. If they get to the Super Bowl, nobody's ever gone to 5 out of 6. This would be 6 out of 7.
Wow.
Which obviously nobody's ever done. In a 7-year span, I'll do this off the top of my head, I believe the most that anybody's ever gone to is 4. So I'm trying. Did the Pats in their second run? Did they do 5 out of 7? They might have 23. Yeah, they went to 5. They did it because they went to what? They went to Super Bowl 49, 51, 52, 52. No, they went to 4. Went to 4. So no team's ever done 5 out of 6. No team's ever done 6 out of 7. Obviously, no team's ever been to more than 4 in a 6-year span or a 7-year span. The Chiefs are looking to roll into 6 if they can do it. And this Super Bowl, by the way, is at the Niners Stadium, which I'm sure all the Niners fans just love that. Just coming into town and boom.
Yeah. That'd be great, though.
No, Mahomes has never lost there. He's 2-0.
It's a great point. Outdoor stadium, though, too.
Yep. Hey, listen. They've got a real shot. I don't know what their odds are right now. If they're the favorite in the AFC or they're tied for the favorite, but like
look.
I know they've been right there. It's been like they've either been tied in some books or like a half of a thing behind, the Bills or whatever. But they're pretty damn loaded. And if Rice is full go and they get Simmons full go, they're going to be rough.
Philadelphia Eagles right now are the odds-on favorite.
I know that. Are the Chiefs the favorite in the AFC?
No, the Bills are actually.
Bills are. Okay.
Bills and Ravens are actually tied. Now that I look at it, and then it's the Chiefs.
What are the Bills and Ravens like plus 600, 650?
They're plus 700. The Chiefs are plus 750. The Eagles are plus 650.
So they're basically all the same odds. Essentially.
Yep.
There's no big, Where if you still have it up, where is the gap? Like, there's always like a gap between like the top.
Yeah.
And then
it's after the Chiefs. So it's like plus 750 for the Chiefs and it's plus 1,000 for the Lions. And then it's plus 1,800 for the Commanders.
Okay. Where are the Rams?
The Rams are plus 2,200 behind the Niners, Packers, and Bengals. That's
the Bengals have no business being it. Neither
they should not. They should not be that.
I also argue the Niners don't either. But okay, that's
fair.
Yeah. So basically, they're saying there's 4 teams, then a little gap in the Lions, then a big gap.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's like those 5 essentially. Yeah. That's right. I don't know how you bet on the Ravens. I just don't get how. Based on what?
You have no proof of concept. That's the thing. Is that like you want a proof of concept usually when you invest in some stuff. There's no proof of concept there.
Like, are they just not gonna play the playoffs anymore and just award a team based on regular season wins? That's it. They won the Super Bowl. Because if they're not doing that, I'm not betting on Baltimore. Also, too, like I lived through the 90s Chiefs. Believe me, at some point, they're almost as a self-fulfilling prophecy. It starts to happen. When you're just like, well, we're in the playoffs, and you know what happens in the play. It's like, and what I mean by that is like, obviously, you don't go into the game if you're the Ravens going, well, we're going to lose this game. But like the second something starts to go wrong, you're like, oh God, here it comes.
Here it is. Yep.
Like, and I honestly, I think we're there with the Bills and the Chiefs, where it's like if those 2 teams see each other in a playoff game, and something starts to go downhill for Buffalo, it's like, oh God. Honest to God. This sounds really weird, but I truly believe this. I actually think if the Chiefs play the Bills this year in the playoffs, I think it's advantageous if the Chiefs play them in Buffalo.
How so?
Because the fear in that building, in that game, if the Chiefs get off to a lead, like in a weird way, I actually think there's more pressure on Buffalo if they're home. Yeah. Like, it was at Arrowhead. There's almost a certain semblance of like, listen, if we lose, it's at Arrowhead, and like we're not expected to win.
Yeah.
I think the pressure in Buffalo, if they got down 10-0 in the playoff game to Kansas City in Buffalo, I'd be like, oh my God, you could feel it. Like there's just a tension in the building. I always thought a lot of times in the Chiefs in the 1990s, I always thought it was almost disadvantageous when they played at home. Because it was just a fan, you were just like, oh, here it comes again.
Yeah.
And you can feel that. You can look, I'm not saying, if you're the Chiefs, certainly you'd love to have home field advantage. I'm not saying you're like, oh, let's tank the game in Buffalo so we can go up. That would be insane.
Right.
I just saying, I think there's almost for players sometimes, I almost think it's harder to play at home. If you're a team that is dealing with that kind of baggage. Now, if you're the Chiefs, you're thrilled to be at home because your fans expected to win. You have that equity built up.
Yeah.
But if you're the Bills, you're the Ravens. There's a certain sense in that building of like, oh God, here it comes again. Dread. Especially when the Chiefs roll into town. It's one thing if you're playing like the fucking Jaguars or something, fine, whatever.
Right.
But like when Mahomes comes in, like, oh no. oh God, like not again. I think there is, like, I was talking to my editor about this the other day. Burrow, Jackson, and Allen are probably all going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably.
Those guys in their playoff careers against Mahomes are 1-6. And in AFC title games, they are 1-4. Like, there's a real world where those guys all go to Canton ringless because they just cannot beat him in a playoff game. Like, they just can't do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is my biggest, strongest case for putting Steve Spagnuolo in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Mahomes isn't playing defense.
No.
And Spagnuolo's out there just dominating these games. I mean, it's
unreal. It really is.
It's nuts. Do you know, by the way, my editor mentioned this to me. It's also a fascinating stat. He wrote about this, but I'm a terrible employee and didn't read it, I guess. Sorry, Mitch. Thought I read it. Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl that was drafted after Mahomes.
I did see that. I think I did see that. That's crazy.
Mahomes was drafted in 2017. Jalen Hurts is the only guy to win a Super Bowl drafted after 2017 because Mahomes just doesn't let anybody win.
Right.
It's just like it was Brady, it was Stafford, then finally Hurts broke through.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean that's just goes to show you how things are. I'm excited for this year. It does feel like the Chiefs are a little bit. I don't want to say under the radar, but I don't think the national attention for the Chiefs is as high as it maybe should be. Probably coming off of getting blown out of the Super Bowl, obviously does that. And that was like I think that might have been the first playoff game in a dome that Patrick Mahomes has lost, or like second dome game in total that like he's lost. Truthfully,
yeah.
Now I think about it, because he was like unbeatable in a dome.
Listen, we all know how this is going to play out. Okay, if they go week 1 to Brazil and they beat the Chargers, narratives are going to shift real fast.
They will.
We're going to have a whole lot of people backpedaling, 1,000 miles an hour. Like, oh no, never mind. And I thought the Chargers, but no, that'll be. And then if they also then win week 2 against the Eagles, we're gonna be right back to just like, oh my God, they're inevitable.
Yeah. People make up a new narrative about how the league is trying to help little old Kansas City.
That's what the league needs. Like the NFL's not making enough money doing enough ratings. Like they need to make sure that Kansas City is propped up.
Right. It's like the league doesn't want a dynasty. Like the league wants as much parity as possible.
Yeah, before we go to our break, though, I'll tell you what. I'll give you one of the hottest takes I've ever had.
Lay it on me.
And that's, I know for me saying something. The Knicks won Game 5 in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals last night.
They did, yeah.
I am not a conspiracy theorist by any means. Don't be surprised if the Knicks shoot 40 free throws in Game 6. Because I'm telling you right now, the NBA is looking at Indiana, Oklahoma City as a final and going, we want that? And if they can get the Knicks to the finals, listen, I truly I halfway truly believe that there's going to be, as a Knicks fan, I'll take it. But there's a part of me that's like, I would not be surprised if there are some egregious calls, like Karl Anthony Towns is basically pulling out a baseball bat underneath the basket, and so the rest didn't see the baseball bat, play on, and it's just, I wonder if this is going to be a deal here where the NBA at a minimum is like, let's get it to 7.
Yeah.
Let's get that. Let's get back.
You know what? Yeah, just get a Game 7.
We'll play an evening Game 7. Let's get her there. I wonder if there's a game like Halliburton's called for 5 fouls in the first quarter. He's called for a foul while he's on the bench.
Right.
Yeah. He stuck his leg out.
Looking at the market sizes, Indianapolis TV market is 25th in the country. Oklahoma's 47th. So
it's a series that everybody. Yes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is obviously the MVP, and he's a great player.
Yep.
And everybody who loves basketball is going to want to watch SGA. But I got to tell you, he doesn't play an exciting brand of basketball.
He's not a good aesthetic basketball player.
Which, by the way, as a Knicks fan, I am fully aware. Neither is Jalen Brunson, who also gets fouled 30 times a game.
Yeah,
I understand that. But they're New York, so you can overlook it from the NBA standpoint. It is not a series that the casual basketball fans would, damn, Thunder Pacers, sign me up.
both of those teams do not play very fun brands of basketball. Like, it is very much a basketball head type of series.
And I just wonder if the NBA is like, listen, we're not going to take it from Indy, but like, let's get it to 7 and then see what happens.
Yeah.
And maybe the Pacers will win that game by 30 points. But I just, there's a part of me, the conspiratorial part of me wonders, like, is this one of these deals? By the way, the Pacers have been screwed before because you know who came in second in the Ewing lottery? Indiana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
well, we all know that was rigged.
Oh, I mean, let's go back and watch that video. Again, I am the furthest thing from a conspiracy theorist you are ever going to find. I hate people who are like, oh, I got a conspiracy for you. But you watch that thing, the guy's tossing the envelopes into that little plastic basketball, nice and easy, takes the Knicks envelope and just fucking whales it in there, snaps the corner off. It's the most. I mean, if that happens today, there's a federal investigation. Right. Okay. And then they're like, oh, the Knicks who are useless got Patrick Ewing. And it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure, no, that wasn't help them along. And look, the NBA said some other shit over the years. You know, Cleveland getting LeBron,
right?
Oh, this past one,
Dallas, Derrick Rose going to Chicago. Come on,
there are some blatant situations in NBA history where you're like, who needs this guy? Okay, let's make that happen. Right. You know, like the NFL. See, the NFL's smart. They get away with it because it's like it's just transparency. Oh, look, who's got the worst record? Here are tie-breaking procedures, whatever. Yeah. Like, the NBA, they're like, hey, you know what we ought to do? Everybody leave your phones outside. Let's go in a room and see who got the pick.
Right.
Then they come out, they're like, look at this, like the best possible thing that happened. You know, I mean,
I do love, this is the first time the NHL lottery was televised in the actual drawing. Yes. And the NHL was just like, we're going to make this the most convoluted way possible. Every team has a combination of 4 numbers. We're going to draw 4 because the NHL's been accused of also doing the rigging of the lottery because they come out with a lottery order and then actually, no, Chicago has the number 1 pick and they get Connor Bedard. Like, they've been accused of rigging the lottery as well. So like, all right, we're not going to rig it. You're going to watch us draw these 4 random numbers that it was insane
watching the Connor Bedard thing, and it was between them and Anaheim. And I was texting with a buddy who's a Blackhawks fan. I was like, "Congrats on the pick!"
Yeah,
and he was like, "What? You already saw it?" I'm like, "Bro, they're not giving this thing to Anaheim. No. Are you kidding me? I'm putting this guy in Anaheim? No way. He's going to the Ducks." So yeah, listen, I'm just saying, maybe I'm dead wrong. And listen, I don't think the Knicks are going to win the series. The Knicks don't deserve to win the series. Pacers not playing them. There's a part of me, I just wonder if we're going to get a heavy whistle in this game. Oh, Brunson was touched. Like flagrant 2, throw him out of the game. Again, yeah. We get an egregious call. Give Halliburton his 3rd foul in the middle of the second quarter, like that kind of a thing. You know, meanwhile, the Knicks, like Mitchell Robinson's just clubbing people. Like, it's all right. Good time.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's take a break. We got some quick hitters coming up, and then we will get into power ranking. We're going to power rank our favorite candy coming up right after this. Chiefs.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner impossible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Folks, it's playoff time, and if you're still just watching games, then you're missing out. With Pick 6 from DraftKings, you can turn your hoops knowledge into real cash. Just make your picks, track your score, and if you hit all 6, you're looking at bigger payouts than Prize Picks flex plays. Nobody's dropping better payouts than Pick 6. Hit 6 picks, and that's 25 times your cash. And if you beat your competition, you could be looking at a 500 times bag in your pocket. And right now, new customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. Here's what you got to do. The playoffs are on, so why not take a shot at making a little money while you're watching? Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to play $5 and get $50 in bonus picks. Better payouts, bigger wins, only on Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. You know, I'm looking at this designated market areas by Nielsen ratings, and I think it's kind of shady that they're like, yeah, number 10 is San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. Those are 3 cities.
Yes. Yeah. And the people always love to say the Bay Area. I've been to the Bay Area. San Jose is an hour from San Francisco.
It's like, yeah, no wonder it's number 10. It's 3 separate cities. What are we doing?
The Bay Area, which is half of the state.
Right. What are we doing? All right, let's get into the quick hitters. Got to hit the air horns for the quick hitters. First off, Terry Bradshaw calls the Pittsburgh Steelers' interest in Aaron Rodgers a joke. He also said stuff about Kenny Pickett as well. But this Terry Bradshaw interview, I think, just further proved that he should not be on TV.
I like Terry's honesty. Yeah,
I'm fair. I think it's fair.
Terry's honest. And you know what? Honestly, if we're being honest, it is kind of embarrassing at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Get him signed or don't.
Beat around the bush too much. Beating around the bush too much. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers also
nonsense.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers not helping by being like, well, I think the team I could play plays in Chicago this year. Like, shut up, dude.
Nobody, listen, I will say this. I don't care what, like, his politics. I don't care. Like, I always love when people are like, you don't like him because, like, I don't give a shit. I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
Like, he is the worst.
Yeah.
He is the worst. But can you imagine me stuck at a party and just talking to that guy? Oh, my God. You just figure, yeah, I got to leave. Sorry, I had diarrhea in my pants. Like, anything to get out of here. That's a better story than me actually here and talk to you. Oh, okay, he's terrible.
Brutal. Yeah, he is. Also, next story here. Stephon Diggs was on a boat instead of at OTAs. He was at a practice of OTAs and then went on this boat and this unidentified pink substance with a lot of women as well. And I like that that Mike Vrabel said we're aware of the video. That was also, what is Vrabel going to do? Vrabel going to invite him in and give him a high five? Probably. I don't know. Vrabel's not going to be.
I saw the videos. Okay, the first video I saw was literally 2 thong-clad women just smashing their butts together on this boat. That was. And by the way, I was searching that out. I just went on Twitter and typed in Stephon Diggs, and that was the first video that came up. And then I did see the unidentified pink powdery substance. I'm not touching that one.
Yeah.
But you all can do a little sleuthing and try to figure that out. Here's what I think. New England doesn't care because he's basically on a series of 1-year deals, and they need somebody to catch the football.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're too worried about it at this point. They just need somebody who can catch a pass.
Because the guys they have there right now cannot.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Von Miller also said that he plans to play in 2025. He's currently not on a team. Would you give him a call if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, Matt?
No, I would not. First of all, he's had some off-field issues in recent times that I'm not going anywhere near if I'm Kansas City.
Yep.
Considering the Chiefs' recent history off the field. And secondly, he is completely washed up.
Mm-hmm.
He can't move, man. Like if you watch that guy get off the line of scrimmage at this point, it's like physically painful. He cannot. That's why I couldn't believe the Bills, like they got rid of him and then signed Joey Bosa. I'm like, have you watched Joey Bosa try to get off the line of scrimmage recently?
Right.
It's like watching a car try to start without an engine. It just starts to like roll forward, take it out of park. Like, oh, it's as far as we're going. Like, hopefully we don't hit a hill anytime soon. I would not. I honestly, I think Von Miller, I think he's done. Maybe he gets signed. Like maybe he's one of those like in-season, like some edge rusher blows a knee out and they need somebody. And like, does this guy have 6 games in him? Like he might be that kind of a signing, but otherwise, I don't think he plays in the NFL.
Yep, I agree. I don't think I'd give him a call either. Couple more here. Micah Parsons was not present for this week's voluntary OTAs per Brian Schottenheimer. Parsons is seeking a new contract, but he did attend voluntary OTAs earlier this month. Thoughts on that situation?
It's kind of weird he attended and then stopped attending, but
he's like, wait, I didn't have to be here?
It turns out I hate this.
Yeah.
Listen, I will say this. I think if you're him, I don't blame him at all for saying, hey, I'm done with this. I mean, and it's the Cowboys. I mean, Jerry's got a nice, long, rich history of just waiting and then overpaying some guy at the last minute. So if you're Micah Parsons, why not just go down that road? You're going to get a fortune.
Yeah, I think that's all very fair. Last thing I have here on the quick hitters, College Football 26 announced, and there's some new features coming as well. New trailer. We'll be getting the video game here very soon. Matt, I know that you are a user of College Football 25. Are you going to get College Football 26?
I'm still pretty engrossed in 25, so I don't know if I'm going to go to 26 right away.
There's not like
what is going to be that different?
Correct. They are adding real coaches. 300 real world coaches are getting added, so the coaches got their bag.
That just means I lose my job.
That's a great point. Yeah, that is a good point. They're saying that there's more wear and tear. There's a different home field advantage 2.0 and an enhanced stadium pulse effect, including a more intense camera shake, new heads-up display visuals, and clock distortion that simulates the high pressure of playing as a visitor in hostile territory. Now, playing on the road already sucks in that game. Like if you go to like Happy Valley, like there's been a couple times where I'm in my Rutgers dynasty and I got to go there, and I'm like, I do not want to play Happy Valley because it already sucks.
Yeah, it's hey, guess what, everybody? Like it's 3rd and 6 in NCAA 26, and you're getting ready to throw a pass, and the camera's just.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's
like. I can't see the field. I just throw a ball at myself. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Have fun, everybody. Have fun. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. Do we need that? Do I need that in my life? Yeah. I like the camera's just doing like spins. Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably skip buying 26 and just get like 27. I'm a bit like every other year guy with games. I just feel like I don't need every single game. I used to when I was a kid. I bought Madden every year. Mm-hmm. And then Madden was like the same game every year for like 20 years running.
Yeah, well, I mean, it used to be different. Like there used to be real changes to Madden. Now they just reskin it.
They just don't care anymore. Yeah. But yeah, like that would probably be the one game I did buy a lot. But the games I miss, man, when ESPN used to put out video games.
Yeah, their ESPN college basketball. I think they had a game it was really good.
Dude, ESPN NFL 2K5 was amazing.
Donovan McNabb on the cover.
It was Owens. It's T.I.
Which one am I thinking of? I think he was on one of them.
2K5 was Owens. And it was, dude, you had a house that you could like trick out. And if you won awards, you had a trophy room. You could put in like one of the, like a ticker in your house. And then like between games, they had NFL primetime. You would watch all the highlights of the other games that were going on. It was unbelievable. It was a great game. However, I will argue with anybody, the best video game ever is Tecmo Super Bowl, which I am old enough to have enjoyed. The game was built in 1991, and it was the first game that had all the NFL teams in it. It was just for original Nintendo. And that game, Chiefs fans, is famous because Christian McCoy is unstoppable in it. But that game, like, it saved every stat you could. The game was so far ahead of its time. It had passer rating,
Wow.
it had receiving yards, rushing attack, anything you can think of, sacks, everything, interceptions. Like, it kept every single statistic for every player in the game every year. I still play it. I still play that damn game. I love that game. Nothing like. Plus, you could play a whole game in 10 minutes.
That's good.
It's great, man.
Can't do that anymore.
In 3 hours.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. Madden 06 was the one I was thinking of that had Donovan McNabb on the cover, but yes, it is T.O.
Okay.
T.O. with the Eagles is probably also why I associated with 2K5 as well. They did have the NBA 2K games as well.
Yes, they did.
Obviously, the 2K franchise for NBA is much more prominent, I think, than like their football. Or really, do they do NHL still, or is it EA?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know. They still have an NHL game. I don't.
Yeah.
ESPN used to do it. Yeah, it was great. It was an awesome game, man.
Yeah,
ESPN did get credit. Like a lot of things you can crap all over ESPN for. ESPN did awesome jobs with those games.
Yeah, they did. The Shaq on the cover of 2K6, the Miami Heat Shaq.
Hilarious.
Incredible. All right, that's all I got for quick hitters. Actually, psych, I lied. I got one more. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, if I got his name right, signed an extension just as we started to record this podcast with the Minnesota Vikings multi-year extension. Deal was signed Thursday night. Minnesota's 34-17 with 2 playoff trips since Kevin O'Connell and Mensah arrived. Now both are signed for years to come per Tom Pelissero on NFL Network.
Kwesi's an awesome guy. Love Kwesi. I think he's done a great job that day.
He has. Yeah.
So, fully deserved. Happy for him. He's one of the nicer people you could deal with in the NFL, but also like forgetting like the personal side, he's done a tremendous job that day. So, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer if you're Minnesota. You want that guy in that building as long as you can possibly, keep him around for. Also, like, go look at his background. He's one of the smartest human beings on earth. Guy was like a trader on Wall Street. Like, I'm pretty sure he went to like Stanford Business School. He is a brilliant guy.
Wow. That is, it's from New Jersey. Shout out. Went to Princeton. Holy shit.
There you go. Okay. It was some ridiculous school. Yeah.
Bachelor's degree in economics from Princeton, where he was a walk-on the basketball team, earned his master's degree in economics at Stanford.
There you go.
Before beginning with the NFL. He was a portfolio manager and a commodities trader on Wall Street.
Yeah. Other than that,
yeah. Right.
43 years old, insanely accomplished. I'm sitting here doing nothing.
He said, I guess I'll be an NFL GM.
Yeah, stuff on Wall Street's boring. I'll try to win a Super Bowl, see what happens.
Well, good for the Vikings. I think that's a good signing for them. Good move. Yes. Oh, last feature I forgot to mention on College Football 26. They are doing the Road to Glory. I don't know if you played the Road to Glory. I like that game mode as well. But you start at high school now.
Yeah.
So that is a right move for them. You would always in years past, and like the old NCAA games, had always started in high school. For some reason, they took that out of the first year, not doing that. But you do start in high school now. I think that is the right choice, and obviously the cross play into Madden as well. If you want to take your player,
really, you should start in Pop Warner and have overbearing parents screaming at you, and then have agents trying to sign you when you're 11. You should that would really make it accurate.
Just be Sims.
Yeah. That would make it more accurate, but fair enough.
It really would. All right, let's get into power ranking. We need a special power ranking sound effect. I think I need to come up with one on the soundboard. I've been really leaning into the soundboard effects. I'm excited to use this one when there's something that I'm definitely going to clip with that someone says out of context in either the lab or only weird games. This is our friend Craig Stout.
Tucker, don't clip that.
I cannot wait to use that for this one. But here's what I think I'll do for Yep, I think I got it. It is time for That Football Show Power Rankings. Matt, today we were power ranking candy. Apparently it does a lot better when we just power rank normal stuff instead of getting too deep into it. So I said, let's not overcomplicate this. Let's power rank some candy. So I'll kick us off. I'll get us started here.
God.
Number 5. I have sour gummy worms. Big fan of sour gummy worms. I'm a big. You'll see a theme with my list. I do have a sweet tooth. I'm a big sweet tooth guy, but I do like the fruity, the sour, that kind of sweet tooth. I'm very big into fruity flavors of candy and stuff like that. But sour gummy worms, always on like a road trip. Those are ones when I want some candy. I'm always eyeing the sour gummy worms, whatever sour candy they got, gummy specifically. I'm a big fan of. So sour gummy worms gets my number 5. Number 5 for you, Matt.
Okay. Skittles.
Good one. Yep.
Classic. I think as we see this list unfolds, you can see a lot of classics. I just think Skittles are great because you can either pick out like 3 of the same color and eat them, or you could just grab a handful of all kinds of nonsense, throw it in your mouth. It's great.
Yep.
Great. It's like having a drink. So good juicy Skittles. I feel like you can't go wrong with Skittles. Yeah, and I'm talking the regular red bag. None of this like tropical Skittles.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. Regular Skittles, like an adult, number 5.
I got Skittles at my number 4, so that works out for all those same reasons. I love me some Skittles. They're a good one when I see them in the vending machine. You know what you're gonna get. They're consistent. Every time you get Skittles, you know what you're gonna get. I would eat Skittles before football practice. Probably not great,
Nice.
but I used to. A little bit of sugar. You need to burn something off. The simple carbs, whatever. You need those. So I would always eat those. They remind me of football practice. But Skittles, all reliable at number 4 for me. Number 4 for you, Matt.
So number 4 for me, a little off the beaten path, but I'm going with Hershey miniatures.
Okay.
Just the bag of Hershey miniatures. Crackle would be my number 1 in the bag.
Yeah.
I thought about going with a Crunch Bar here, but like I'd rather go with the Hershey miniatures. I'm just a big Hershey miniatures guy. I always have like a bag of them in my office, and I'll have like 1 a day. I'm pretty regimented with it, but I'll get regular Hershey, get dark chocolate Hershey,
Right.
got a Mr. Good Bar if you're feeling like you're having a little bit of a different flavor there, and then also Crackle. I gotta go with the Hershey miniatures just in general. Number 4.
Is Crackle like a mini Crunch? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. They've got like the Rice Krispies in there.
Yes,
Crunch Bar is good, man. Crunch Bar is good.
Yep.
Number 3 for me. This is one that is not going to be like the rest of my other ones, but it is so good that I have to set it above all of the other ones. It's going to be the only one with chocolate in it. It's a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I think Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is my favorite chocolate type of candy. I like chocolate. I'm not huge on like the chocolate and more chocolate type of people.
You and I are going to be different. I'll get triple chocolate cake with chocolate icing.
Tara's the same way. When Tara and I get dessert, she always wants the triple chocolate. She wants the triple chocolate sundae. Yeah, so she loves it. I'm not huge into that. The super richness of it. I'd much rather have like the obviously, like I said, the fruity stuff. But Reese's, man, I don't think you can go wrong with a good Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Twix for me at number 3. Yeah,
Twix is good, man.
Chocolate and caramel, man, can't really go wrong with that. Love a good Twix.
Yeah.
And they do like the cookie Twix now and the peanut butter Twix, and all those are awesome. But I'll just go regular running. Give me a Twix, man. I'm a big fan.
Strong. I do like that one. Number 2 is a recent new innovation to candy, I think. Fairly recent. Nerds Gummy Clusters, number 2 for me. Again, I do love the gummy nature of it. A big fan of, but then the Nerds flavors as well. Do love me those, and they are addictive. I don't know what they might put crack cocaine in those, because once you start eating them, you cannot stop eating them. It is quite insane, and I know it is very much like a children's candy, but dude, I cannot. I love me some Nerds Gummy Clusters.
I almost made a joke about cocaine that would have gotten me in some trouble. Number yeah. Anyway, number 2, peanut butter M&Ms.
Ooh.
If there's a bag of peanut butter M&Ms anywhere near me, I'm talking like a family size, it's over.
Yeah.
Those things are gone. By the way, I feel like there's a good time for me to throw out a couple honorable mentions. I didn't put this in there because it's seasonal, but I'll tell you right now, number 1 or 2 would have been a Cadbury egg for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Love a Cadbury egg. Whoppers, 100 grand, like big 100 grand guy at like Halloween. So those are some of the, it's also, but I didn't put them in there because I feel like they're very seasonal. But a Cadbury, dude, during Easter, I probably 15 Cadbury eggs. Those things, I love those things.
They are good.
But for me, number 2, peanut butter M&Ms. Regular M&Ms are awesome, but peanut butter M&Ms, A+.
I do love the peanut butter. The inside is like it's different than just the regular. I like how it seems softer. Couple of let's see. I got my roster here. Yeah, okay. I got a couple of honorable mentions. Starburst. Starburst did not make the list for me, but
Starburst is excellent. Starburst is a good call.
I think it is a very good candy. Also, all individually wrapped as well, which I find very interesting. Yeah. One that I think is maybe, I don't know, controversial. A Payday. I really do love
Payday.
I understand why people don't like Payday, but like sometimes I think what it was is when I was a lifeguard, head lifeguard, not a big deal. Coming out of high school, we had a lot of Paydays at the concession stand at the pool, and so I would just munch on those, and they're nice and salty and sweet at the same time. Big Payday guy. I think that's the only 2 on my roster I didn't fit in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1 for me, Sour Patch Kids. I think Sour Patch Kids are a phenomenal candy, a nice sour and sweet treat. Again, you're sensing a theme with my I want the most sugar possible, apparently. I just want sugar straight into my veins and I'm eating candy.
You're a big Warheads guy?
I don't mind Warheads. I really don't.
I really don't. High school, man, I used to house those things.
Those are like during Halloween, I wouldn't shy away from the Warheads. Okay. I like the sour and the sweet. Sour Patch Kids is my number 1. If I see a pack of Sour Patch Kids, it's done. It's done for them. I am a very big fan of any flavor though too. Like the OGs obviously are the best, but they always come out with the tropical flavors, the this and that, the watermelons, the cherries, the grapes, any of them, I'll eat them all. Number 1 for you, Matt.
Number 1's not even a question. I would die for these Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. It's the original. None of this stupid bullshit like peanut butter and jelly Reese's. No, fuck that. Like, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Okay, and if you're not getting the king size, don't even talk to me. No, that's the move right there. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are absolutely amazing. Number 1, no question asked. Not a doubt in my mind. It's got to be Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. If it wasn't for the fact it would put me into a diabetic coma, I would legitimately eat 20 of them every day. But since I can't do that, I'm sad. But no, it's number 1. Not. And by the way, 1A Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces are good. Oh my God, I can't buy them. I can't buy them because I literally just open the bag and just go gone. Yeah. They're oh my God, they're amazing. One of my favorite cereals is actually Reese's Puffs. Hell yeah, Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs are good. Anything Reese's does, I'm all in. I'm bought in. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid per se. Reese's Puffs Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Oh, dude, we should power rank cereals. I don't understand these people who are like, I had Cheerios this morning. It's like, my God, how boring are you? Yeah, why would you do that? What? Cheerios. Oh, I had Raisin Bran this morning. I feel like Raisin Bran only exists. You could pick up a box of Raisin Bran and beat somebody over the head with it. Cornflakes only exist for toppings for baked potatoes, cheesy potatoes. Yeah. If I sit down and somebody's like, oh, like, come up to come over to the house or whatever, come out for like a weekend, and I sit down at the breakfast table, and they pop out Raisin Bran, I'm coming over the table. Like I am appalled that someone would do that. Yeah. I think cereals needs to be on the list for next week. I think we have to do cereals next week. I love cereal. I have a lot of thoughts on cereal. Okay. Perfect. I cannot wait for that. Quick recap. Power rankings here. Number 5 for me, Sour Gummy Worms. 4 Skittles. 3 Reese's. 2 Nerds Gummy Clusters. 1 Sour Patch Kids. For Matt. Number 5, Skittles. Number 4, Hershey Minis. Number 3, Twix. Number 2, Peanut Butter M&Ms. Number 1, Reese's. I'm going to be interested to see how the people react to these because these are 2 very different lists. I got smoked in the last list. People were like, Verderame is casual with soda. Jesus.
People were very passionate about the sodas. I'm sure people are passionate about candy too. I definitely think cereals will cause a stir.
The best still is years ago when COVID happened and nobody had anything to do. And I forget exactly how it happened, but Barstool put out some graphic about like places to eat, like different like fast food places.
Yeah.
And I took up for Subway and people were just, how could you eat it? I ended up going on Briscoe's radio show at the time, and we talked for a half an hour about Arby's.
Oh, yeah.
It ended up morphing into Club Applebee's. And I'm telling you right now, that is the only time I ever had people text me about a radio spot. Like, I heard this coming home. Like people like in the NFL in some cases, like people like covered the league who are like, I was in tears. I was laughing. So and shout out to Briscoe for that segment. That segment was insane. It was like 30 minutes. COVID. There's nothing else to talk about. I remember Sam Mellinger, formerly of the Star, now works for the Royals, like essentially tweeted at me like about my support of Subway, basically telling me I needed help. And I know Sam. I like Sam quite a bit. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was yeah. So I'm always ready to be roasted for my power rankings.
I love it. We'll get those out. Appreciate everybody listening all the way to the end of the podcast. Yeah, I think that's it. There's not a whole lot going on. We'll have media, I think, maybe not by the time we record the next podcast. They're supposed to have media on Wednesday, so we probably won't have media by that time. So we'll see. Maybe I'll ask Matt another another abstract question about the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs so we can ponder and talk about for a while on Wednesday. But we'll be back with you guys. Anything else before we get out of here, Matt?
No. That's it.
Cool. That's going to do it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Subscribe to become a ball knower. Hit the like for one piece of candy today. So that's going to do it for that football show. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week.